Coming up on this Thursday morning edition of DITV, Joni Ernst, the Iowa senator, opens up about her personal life.
And later, government shutdown. Find out how the UI is helping reduce financial troubles for students.
Will Iowa avenge their early season blowout to Michigan State? I'll give you my take in a special courtside edition of sports.
How low can Iowa temperatures go? I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more headed your way.
Stay right where you are. DITV starts right now. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sydney Zatz.
And I'm Anthony Caligiuri. Yesterday, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst came forward on the details of her divorce. While she announced the divorce last summer, court documents were made public, citing both physical and verbal abuse as the reason for the split. In the record, Senator Ernst and her husband Gail accused one another of having marital affairs. The senator referred to herself as a survivor and told local reporters she will continue to support survivors of assault. In addition to these records going public, Joni Ernst says that she turned down President Trump's offer of the vice president position.
The way it was portrayed was a little different. Now, I withdrew my name from consideration. I still do support the president and a number of his policies, but I am there to serve in the United States Senate.
Now, Ernst interviewed with the president in July of 2016, but says she decided against it for her family's best interest. Despite both of these announcements, Ernst says that she will in fact seek another term as senator.
As the federal government shutdown reaches its 34th day, President Trump late last night announced that he will not deliver the State of the Union speech. This comes after Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi announced President Trump will not be invited to deliver his speech next Tuesday unless the government reopens.
Why not invite him on that day? Because government is closed. We said very clearly from the start. When I wrote to him the second time to say, since government is shut down, we do not, let's work together on a mutually agreeable date, and we can welcome you to the Capitol to get a State of the Union address. Government is still shut down. I still make the offer. Let's work on a mutually agreeable date, as the original date was mutually agreeable. So that we can welcome him properly. What happened?
President Trump responded just hours later with a letter to Pelosi where he states, quote, "It would be very sad for a country if the State of the Union were not delivered on time, on schedule, and very importantly, on location," end quote. President Trump had more to add after his letter.
I'm not surprised. It's really a shame what's happening with the Democrats. They've become radicalized. They don't want to see crime stop, which we can very easily do on the southern border. And it really is a shame what's happening with the Democrats. This will go on for a while. Ultimately, the American people will have their way because they want to see no crime. They want to see what we're doing.
Today, the Senate will vote on two separate resolutions to reopen the government.
While negotiations on the government shutdown continue, relief efforts are being made here in Iowa. Banks and credit unions throughout Iowa are developing programs to help relieve the financial impacts caused by the shutdown, most importantly, federal student loans. The University of Iowa Community Credit Union is helping federal employees by using their own loan program. This includes a 4% interest rate and no payments for 90 days. Rebecca Needs, the Vice President of Community Development and Government Affairs, said that the UICCU will assist students by going over different options for those in need of guidance. To read more about this, pick up a copy of today's paper where Daily Iowa reporter Alexander Scores goes more into detail.
The United States Supreme Court temporarily kept the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program alive by choosing, well, to do nothing. The DACA program protects young undocumented immigrants who are brought to the U.S. at a young age from deportation. While the Trump administration petitioned the nation's top court to repeal DACA, the court decided to neither permit nor refuse the request, meaning it will be handled in lower courts.
A bill to eliminate tenure for public college and university faculty was reintroduced by an Iowa senator. Through this bill, Though this bill has not been yet renewed by Iowa legislators on the Education Subcommittee, it will allow faculty members to be fired without reason if passed. The Iowa Board of Regents and UI President Bruce Harold are pushing back, showing full support for tenured programs. The bill was first introduced in 2017.
Anthony, it sure is a cold one out there, but I don't know if it's going to get better. It's Iowa, who knows?
You're right, Sydney. Let's toss it over to Susanna in the weather studio to tell us all about our upcoming weather. Susanna?
Thanks, guys. Now that the sidewalks are somewhat more clear, hopefully students will have an easier time walking to class, but you'll want to be sure to stay bundled up because our high in Iowa City today will only reach 19 degrees, with wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour, and the low will drop into a bitter negative 13 degrees tonight. Now let's take a look at our extended 5-day forecast. Unfortunately, that isn't the last of the snow we'll see, as we're expecting a 50% chance of snow showers on Friday and a high of 8 degrees and a low in the negatives again. Saturday and Sunday are looking to be identical temperature-wise, with highs around 10 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. And Monday, we may start off the week with some flurries in the morning, but those should taper off into the afternoon as we'll reach a high in the mid-20s. We can expect sunshine for the rest of the week, but be prepared for freezing temps, as our high on Tuesday will be 0 and dipping even lower at night with a low of negative 13 degrees. So it looks like I'll be spending all of next week inside, and I hope you guys do the same and to stay warm. That's all I have for weather. Guys at the desk, back to you.
The real-life star of the Oscar-nominated film Black Klansman was in Iowa City on Wednesday. Ron Stallworth inspired the film after infiltrating the KKK in the 1970s through an undercover operation. He discussed the current political climate as well as his reaction to seeing his story on the big screen. He also talked about how he struggled with his identity while being a police officer in Colorado, saying, quote, "I was a young black cop, but when I took that badge and uniform off, I was just a black man in America. I was subject to the same treatment as many other black person who was not on the other side of the law. That's something that people tend to forget," end quote. Stallworth also hosted a lecture at the Englert Theater on Wednesday night. To read more about the interview, visit dailyiowan.com.
The University of Iowa Student Government released a statement on the school's representation efforts. Tristan Schmidt, the leader of the demographics assessment team, came up with the idea for the first ever survey evaluating demographics within UISG. The objective of the survey is to address exactly how representative UISG is, and results show that it needs more representation on different ideologies. They hope to apply this data to become more diverse and inclusive towards policy ideas.
A new University of Iowa counseling service survey indicates that the majority of students want to learn how to better manage their stress and anxiety. The University Counseling Service did an assessment last spring and discovered that 75% of the student body thought they would benefit from learning about mental wellness and self-care. UCS Assistant Director for Outreach Kelly Klofner said that students can set aside 30 minutes every day for exercise and deep breathing to fight anxiety and sleep difficulties.
Anthony, I know that I will be going to Carver tonight to see the men's basketball team, and I think I know somebody else at DITV who will as well.
Yes, we do, and that's Lucy Rodine. She's standing by on the courtside, in the courtside studio to tell us more. Lucy?
Yeah, guys, I'll definitely be in Carver tonight, but welcome to the Courtside Show. Like you guys said, I'm Lucy, and I can't be more excited for the first place team in the conference to come into Carver Hawkeye tonight. But before we get to tonight's matchup between two ranked teams in the Big Ten, we had another battle of ranked conference opponents last night in Carver when the women's team took on number 14 Rutgers. The Hawks had fans on their feet thanks to Megan Gustafson, who scored Iowa's first 13 points. Later in the half, this deep three from Tanaya Davis tied the Hawks up with Rutgers at 26. And after an open layup from Megan Gustafson, the back doors were wide open for Mackenzie Meyer to get the easy basket. The Hawks had their day with the Scarlet tonight defense and came away with a big 72-66 win.
Our team, I thought, worked really hard. They stayed focused. They were locked in. I just feel like, we took the lead in the second quarter and never gave it up after that point. I think that can wear an opponent when you can never get that lead back again.
It was a pretty big win for us. Right now we're kind of in that race for the top spot, and it's huge, especially with that's our lone meeting with them. And so that was very, very critical. It was a fun win. I believed in my teammates and they believe in me, and so we just got to keep that momentum going into these next games here.
They played Iowa basketball. They didn't let Rutgers get us out of what we wanted to do, and I'm just really, really proud of our team's effort and focus.
Now, the men's team is hoping for the same result tonight because 6 weeks ago, Iowa went into the Breslin Center, and to put it nicely, they got smacked. The Hawks gave up 90 points and let Michigan State go to the free throw line 32 times in a 22-point blowout, and this team has not forgotten about it.
We were right there in the first half, let things get away from us. Our defense slipped in the first 1 minute to the second half up there, and that's where they kind of got us. And once they get rolling, it's hard to stop, especially in their own building. So we just got to make sure that we're locked in and taking care of business, on all stretches of the game.
That game wasn't a lot of fun. They're very strong and physical. They beat us up in the paint, so we're looking forward to this one.
Yeah, Joe Wieskamp was right. It was not very fun. And Iowa struggled so much against the Spartans in December because Michigan State is arguably the most well-rounded team Iowa will face this year. The Spartans come in at number 6 in the AP poll and rank in the top 20 nationally in scoring offense, field goal percentage, and field goal percentage defense. And headlining the Spartans this year is Player of the Year candidate point guard Cassius Winston. Winston averages over 18 points and 7 assists per game. And the key to stopping Sparty, stopping Winston.
You're gonna have to fight him, the whole time. You look at his numbers, like 18 a game. Very rarely do you see a guy average 18 a game who plays 24 minutes a game. So when he's in there, he's sprinting, and they go to him. So if you're jogging and you're not ready, he's going to kill you. It's really not complicated.
Now, it's no secret that this is a big game and an even bigger opportunity for Iowa. The Hawks are looking for that signature win to help them when Selection Sunday rolls around in 2 months. And what better way to impress the selection committee than being the team that stops Michigan State's 20-game win streak? So Iowa needs all the help they can get from the crowd. And we have DITV sports reporter Declan Levy to tell us what to expect from Carver tonight. Declan?
Thank you, Lucy. Well, a big game here tomorrow night as the number 19 Iowa Hawkeyes take on number 6 Michigan State. So, will the place be packed? I think so, as 1,000 free tickets were issued to students. Expect that student section to be packed tomorrow. Lucy, back to you.
Thanks, Declan. Now, Michigan State has won 12 out of the last 14 games they've played against Iowa and is hot off a 12-game winning streak. But right now, Iowa's playing the best basketball we've seen from them all year, and we're expecting a sellout crowd, as Declan told us. And the Hawks, they're going to be rocking those gray jerseys tonight. But I'm thinking that Michigan State's, they're just too good for Iowa. I don't think the Iowa defense can handle Michigan State's transition game, even in those lucky gray jerseys. But that's it for me. Come back tomorrow to see if I got it wrong and Iowa took down Sparty. Anthony and Sydney, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Lucy. Before we wrap things up today, we have one last story that might even make you believe in miracles. An 8-month-old puppy was euthanized at an Oklahoma shelter, but he was found alive when veterinarians came back into the room minutes later.
Rudolph, the lab bull mix, was taken into the shelter in Davenport. He went viral on the internet, and a Des Moines native traveled to meet up with the special pup. He's hoping to make Rudolph a service dog for a veteran in Colorado. And what a great note to end on, Sydney. And that wraps up today's show on DITV. Be sure to check us out on dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday.
For even more Daily Iowan updates, don't forget to grab a copy of our paper edition on stands now. For DITV, I'm Sydney Zatz.
And I'm Anthony Caligari.
Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning.